Could you address the origins of the word Easter? I do not understand why the church continues to use the word, which I cannot find a biblical origin for. At least with Christmas, you have the word Christ. This is only a side question and not super important. I just have noticed the big church in our town, all their members have signs out this year that say Easter, and I just wondered how many people stop and wonder where the word comes from. I was confronted a few years back by a friend that I had known growing up that the homosexuality was okay because the word homosexuality could not be found in the Bible. Interesting. I don't understand how we so easily look one way but not the other. In our church today, period. I know you may not find this valid to discuss, so on and so forth. Okay, Nell de Bell. This is a good question, and this is why my father, Tim Hegg, president of TorahResource, has written an entire article on it, which you can find in the link. There's a link in the description of this video called something to the effect of, is the word Easter derived from a pagan goddess? If you look on Facebook or if you look online, you are going to find all sorts of memes and all sorts of Facebook posts that are going to talk about the fact that this word Easter comes from a pagan god or goddess known as Ishtar.
And that's where we get the book of Esther.
Is it? Is it really?
We're really supposed to read Esther at Purim or at Pesach. No, I'm totally.
Rob's on.
Well, what I'm showing is that you could totally make. Yeah. You could just make a video and it would get a million views,
millions of views. And you're right, and that's exactly what happens. People regurgitate these memes and these things, and they essentially are pushing something without any historical background. So, let's first ask this question: is the name Easter derived from a pagan goddess Ishtar? Probably not, but possibly, but not the way you might think. And the reason why is because Easter is only called Easter in America and Germany and maybe a handful of other countries. Normally, Easter is called, in the church, it's called Pascha, not Easter. Easter is the name of the month in German that the Passover or the Pascha falls in. And so the name Easter that we have attached to the wider church's celebration is derived from a month name. They named it for the month that it falls in, which is Easter.
It still a German month name, or was that just back in centuries ago when it had that name?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
I don't know if it's still a name in German.
I don't know.
I think it was. I think you're right. So what you're saying is that the word Easter with the capital E is a kind of a North American Christianity problem. It's not really.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that many people within the Hebrew Roots movement and the Torah movement at large, they think that if America believes it, then
it must be true for everybody.
It must be true for everybody. This is the standard for the world today. It's not the case.
Therefore, Christianity is. Yeah. That's just another example of we got to be quick to hear and slow to speak, like James says.
Right. I'm wondering, so hang on just a sec. I want to go back to Lee's comment. All I see is that's what I'm studying. What are you studying, Lee? Oh, this is part of my research topic. All early Christians celebrated Pascha. However, I can only find groups that celebrated for 3 days. Some starting on Nisan 14, others on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Interesting. That would be good to see. Okay. So Paul Archer says it's the old German. And my father, Easter is the old German. My father actually walks through the progression of this name and shows that this is not actually derived from some fertility rite to the goddess Ishtar. Now, it needs to be quickly said, this is not to say that there might be some pagan trappings that have attached themselves to Easter. Easter bunnies, Easter eggs. Now, there are...
Chocolate.
Yeah. Nice. There are arguments from mainstream Christianity against the idea of these things being pagan. Okay? I'm not going to say neither here nor there what's going on there. What I can tell you is that if we just look at the name Easter, The notion that this is a pagan, that the celebration of Easter was named after the pagan goddess Ishtar, because there was a fertility rite on that day.
I don't think people knew about Ishtar.
It's nonsense. That is complete
you know what I mean?
nonsense.
I don't even think that it was culturally available information about Ishtar for them. You know, I mean, that assumes a lot of ancient, a very specific ancient Near Eastern religious tradition had survived in, you know, medieval Germany,
right,
by the name, and they had retained the the ancient Near Eastern name and everything. It's just
this comes from Two Babylons and Lou White's Fossilized Customs. Basically, it's this idea that we are going to attach everything to paganism, and the idea that there was this fertility rite on Easter that took place, and that Ishtar came down the river in an egg and it hatched and she fertilized the earth. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not the case. However, I would need to see some solid evidence of that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell us your thoughts on this subject by leaving a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable those notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.